Well, good evening. I'm Renee Wilson with Cowboy+wisdom. Tonight's Facebook Live is about the Spirit Says Go. How is it you think no, but your Spirit says go? And that is what I'm opening up to understand. My spirit has never been afraid of anything. It's my thinking mind that keeps me minded in whatever it is. And as I open up to my new wisdom and my new way of life, I let go of being balking and stucking myself in what I know. Really, what I know is my stalker of sabotage, because I try and overthink everything, and then I get caught up. Then I start going in a circle and really get wound up about everything. So to open up to this, I open my eyes to the whys that I understand I encompassed, because I encompass something that will expand me through life rather than keep me caught up in life. So as I expand, I understand, unifying new discernment that's within me to enterprise resolve. Because it's our inner mental will expand us through situation. We try to know the situation, get out of it, rather than let us and then understand the situation to feel the new wisdom that flows within me and to open myself up. But it is the spirit splendor of our adventurous ardor that opens the door for us to soar like an eagle above, living up and above our life. So as I lionize the internal freedom every day, I expand of newness and really feel the go of myself. It's the go, the grit and go. It's a galvanizing riches, invigorating, trend-setting gumption, enterprising today, galvanizing opulence. When we galvanize opulence, that's an accomplished fluid. That's the accomplished outcome we desire to experience. It's really about letting go of what we know and just turn what we know into an understanding. That is what is that's what's expired in our life. But what expands us is in the now. That is truth. What I know is expired. But what I understand is the numen gumption to be my spiritual leader of myself. And how do we try to live in what is expired rather than in the fiery desire of the now? Because that is what it is. But everything we know is expired. It's been used yesterday. So to understand, it's just a platform for us to dance with today's enterprising energies. But how are we afraid in personal growth in this to understand the now is a tranquility of tenacity to expand through life? It ain't about being revved up and gummed up. It's really about letting go of everything and really expanding of life. So I realized the why of me. I walks internally, seeing every day exposés expand me through life, understanding life is an adventure. It's a visionary venture of vibrant energy, naturally trend-setting, utopian resolve, expanding every day. I really am open to the expanding of life, because when I expand, I'm unattached to what I know. And that personal growth, and to really expand, you got to understand the grandeur of your own self. A challenge is not my challenges are not the world's challenges. My challenges are for me to expand through, showing people a way to expand through life. It's not being stifled in society stuff and letting the world buff me into the BS I live. It's about me expanding myself, seeing enterprising lure, feeling the robust toughness of myself, and to be the stout-hearted savant to dance with life. My inner debonair flair. Feeling lively audacity, invigorating riches. When I see riches, that's a robust, innovative candor, harmonizing, enterprising savvy. We are so rich in wisdom, wealthy in tenacity, we're afraid of ourselves. And that's our biggest fear. We're afraid of ourselves. And wealthy people, the thing they understand is they trust themselves rather than being afraid of themselves. So as I open this up to understand the wisdom of life, I light up my internal flame, energizing whatever I desire to experience to expand of my spiritual supremacy, to live my life of Riley, to live my fly on cloud nine, whatever it is you desire to experience. How are we afraid of ourselves? That is the biggest question. How are we afraid of our talents, to trust our talents to expand through every challenge, chaos, and tragedy that enter us? This is kind of a different take, but it just comes, how is the tragedy fissuring our stranglehold of life? And it's not the tragedy, it's the evolving in the grief that we go to, but the grief is a relief of what is in us. But we're afraid of that because we don't like pain. And that kind of pain is inner pain. You know, a cut you can take medicine for, but a grief and a tragedy, you got to galvanize resolve, invigorating, effrontery, fervor, energy. You got to get the enthusiasm of life to move forward, but it's really the spirit says go. How is the chaos and the challenges and the tragedies teaching us to trust our abilities, but it's opening ourselves to hear the spirit within ourselves, speak prosperous, innovative reveries, invigorating today's audacity to experience life, because we get so caught up in what goes wrong in life, we forget to see the good in life. And I was at a meeting the other night, and all it was basically what was wrong. There was never an innovative, forward-looking inspiration in the thing. We're so used to thinking rather than feel the inspiration of our own innovative gifts. We stay stuck in yesterday, but we've been taught the grief of life rather than the grandeur of life. We taught ourselves the grief rather than hear the grandeur to experience the bountiful bliss of life is for us. And life is going to throw us curveballs just because it can throw them. But the curveball is to see whether we step into the pitch for the home run or we get scared and put the bat on our shoulder and stay on the bench for all of our life. But it's our spirit splendor that's going to light up the world. But it's our spirit saying go, and we hear the go instead of the whoa. We really galvanize the opulence of our own self. The more I open up to understand, trying to heal the past, do all this innovative stuff is just bluffing me into dodging the truth and looking into the mirror of myself. When I can embrace and face the challenges I buried because they were fears and boundaries and being scared to go beyond it, I open up a new avenue of audacity within myself. And I see and sense and I feel where I backed out instead of stepped up. And that is what life is going to show us. Until you step up into the situation rather than in the situation, then when you're of the situation, you see in trend-setting utopian audacity, tantalizing, innovative omnipotence to naturally expand through the situation. We try to hide from the situation rather than face the situations because we never understand what is on the other side. We want to know before we go. We'll never know before we go. We got to walk into the swamp and see where and go through it. Some days we're going to wrestle alligators, and some days we're going to sit on the oasis of opulence. It's what life is. Life is a roller coaster. We try to make it an even plane, like it's a smooth runway. Well, life is a mountain with oceans in the middle, but it's an up and down crossways, but it's about the inner gut grandeur we have to enjoy life. See, everybody can have whatever they desire, but what you're willing to let go of and expand out of to experience the galvanized gusto of life and your dreams. Because what I understand now is every time I walked away, and then I had to come back to the same situation to go beyond it. And challenges and tragedy, they're not instant over things. They're temporary, but they're temporary with some tenacity to set us. So every time we hit an unsettling situation, we set a boundary and we don't go there. You don't go when you're afraid to go over there. That despair is with you until you go over there. So whatever you was unwilling to face in your life, might as well embrace it and face it and get it out of your life. Because what I understand now, all the simple little tools never released the pain, like understanding the pain was embedded by me and there was wisdom that I missed, and that was to ascertain and expand through to expand my life. And once you revisit it and see where all the challenges in life where everybody else is free, the only one that created the challenge is me. The hate, the anger, the disgust, it's all me because it's all inside me. And I allow the outside world to push my button, causing me to go strumming around in my own bum, being a bummed out about everything. If you look at the world today, the arrogance of the world has the world stuck in the muck of yesterday. And you can see arrogance. And once you understand it and you get around it, you can just pick out the arrogance. And the tougher people talk, the more fear they embrace. They embed it. And a lot of them, if you watch their facial expressions, they'll tell you the pain they're in when they speak. You know, and that's something I really do now is I watch the body language of life. And When you watch their body language and their tonality, their words mean very little, because a lot of people talk, but they never walk. People will never follow a walker. People are more likely to follow a dishonest person because it sounds good. The path of prosperity and peace is rocky and rough, but it's going to build you into a spiritual toughness that allows you to feel the tranquility of life rather than being stuck in a muck of life. That is something I really understand. But all this fancy gadgets, I did NLP, hypnotherapy, because there's people out there that has went through some painful stuff, and they buried it because it was so painful. And that's where hypnotherapy and stuff helps. But a lot of it, and like phobias, that takes NLP and hypnotherapy. But a lot of the personal stuff, like heartbreak and other things, a piece of paper and a pen, and you write the anger out, you throw it away in a park or someplace, or put it in the wind, burn it, but you get a physical release from it. And a lot of it, sometimes we just go in to cover it up. NLP is good at covering it up, but it's not good about letting it out. The NLP does a lot of good on phobias and stuff. Courage to live through it. And a lot of people didn't want to live through the things because they were looking for approval, and the people they trusted turned them down and said, don't you say anything. And that is where the embedded hurt really becomes atrocious. And that is the thing. If somebody tells you something, and you got to really look at it and then watch and witness what is going on to see if it's true or not. But a lot of people have avoided other people because of the pain the other person went through. And for me, the biggest teachers of the world are people we call that have physical challenges and challenges. They're teachers, but we're afraid to learn from them because they ain't like us. And how is people of different races afraid to learn because they're not? How is the differences of people, the intangible differences of people, the pathway to peace and prosperity of the world? Because all the wisdom in the world comes from all over. The arrogance is embedded in everybody because it's all about me. There's nothing about me. It is about me majestically expanding, magnificently energizing other people's life. It's about me showing people a better way to experience life and not live a life. We think with money we'll have everything, but how many people have had all the money in the world and still unhappy? Until you have the inner luxury of loving yourself and being satisfied with who you are and where you're at, you'll never ever expand through life. But we try to know our way through life, and it's fun to watch the arrogance of life. And I'm really starting to do that because I must have been there, because I'm starting to understand it. Yeah, let's just admit it, I was there. But it's fun watching people that never made a mistake in life. And I love being the most imperfect person in the world because I innovate more, propelling everyday resolve, feeling enterprising candor, analyzing innovative omnipotence, naturally expanded through life. But when I understand this, everybody's my equal, I cut the arrogance out, and my spirit says go. I galvanize, I get up and open the door for me to soar. We're afraid of that because that is beyond the knowing mind. And everybody thinks they've done something, but they've never done anything. You know, the spiritual world, the world talks a lot, but you know, the Peace Pilgrim and Mother Teresa, look what they've done. Look what they accomplished by just being honest. Gandhi. See, it isn't the physical toughness, it's the spiritual supremacy within us that will expand us through life and allow us to move ourselves forward and really open our eyes and wise to willingly innovate, seeing everyday life as a tutor of our dreams. Stop thinking we know everything and just because it's me, it's going to be the best. The world is showing me a better way when I listen to everything in a bright, bold way. But it's my know-it-all crawl that keeps me stalled in yesterday and my arrogance. I'm right, I'm better than everybody, and that's the biggest lie that anybody lives. People that live in arrogance live in fear of being found out they lack the ability to do it. And that is where we're at today. Now, there's a difference between self-assured audacity and arrogant, asinine snobbishness. There's a big difference. is a tonality, and the other one thinks they're better than others, and they really end up playing the drum with dumb. They really end up playing the drum with dumb, being left out in life. And I'm sorry to use the word dumb. I don't like that word, but it's really, that's what you are when you really when you don't listen and understand. Everybody, one person knows something you lack, and it'll move you forward. And that is what that's why the Spirit says go, because the Spirit is equal in everybody. It's the heart of the Spirit and the soul of our supremacy that will move us forward. And I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. My books are available at amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. And at howdiditeachmyselffear.com, my website, mycowboywisdom.com. And I will be here next Tuesday with something. It's a life-expanding experience on the go. That's what I love. And anyway, good night, and thank you everybody for being here.